Under no circumstance should a child talk in such a manner to his or her parents. Like, that's going too far. And imagine saying all this for the money and then you return home and your dad or your mom is gone. This episode was just too serious for me. I know you also felt the same when watching it. It was just too serious. Like, I almost felt like crying. My eyes, oh goodness. Welcome back to Sahara Movies. I'm Lydia and I'm your host for today. I'm back again with Abattoir Season 2, Episode 3 review and then Episode 4 expectations. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe for more videos and more updates. Previously on Abattoir Season 2, Episode 2, Mike-Bamiloye and his family were discussing a car that their son bought for them, and Mike-Bamiloye was excited about it. But Mike-Bamiloye was still insisting on knowing where his source of income was, because you just started work and they cannot just pay you abundantly like that to buy a car for yourself and then buy one for your parents as well. So he was really inquisitive about how his son got the money. Eventually, his son said it, and in this episode, Mike-Bamiloye was trying to open his son's eyes. My son, you are in darkness. You are not seeing what is really happening. You are not seeing the true picture of like you are not seeing reality. Please stop this case. Drop this case. Yes, that's how they say it. Please drop this case. But because of the amount of money he had received, it's like he has sold his heart or he has sold his soul to the devil. And there's no turning back. The turning back will cost you your life. It will cost you your integrity. It will cost you your reputation. So his son also decided to disrespect his parents. He just left. If you don't accept my car, I don't care. At least it's a car. It's not as if it's something that if you don't accept, I'm going to lose anything. If you don't accept, it's fine. So he left. So I think he still had anger in him. Like he was so angry. That was the latter part. Now let me start reviewing it according to how it got to the part that I almost cried. Like that part was too serious. So at that part, the lawyer was doing his own research. Mr. Adegbole was, I hope I'm right in the name, but I mean, Mr. Martin's lawyer was doing his own research, finding what could have caused Martins to rape his own students. We know Martins to be a modest person. He's responsible. He's God-fearing. So what will make him rape someone? So he was doing his own background research, and then he went to meet a teacher. So the teacher was the one who was like, he was the connection between the two, Mr. Wale. He received money to enroll a student in the school, and then after 2 days, the child just disappears, and it didn't seem like a mystery to you, the teacher. So whilst Mr. Ade was doing his own research, he found out so many truths. So they were positive that, this case, we are going to win it, because from what I'm gathering, there's a great assurance that we are going to win this case. So I was even excited about it. The way the lawyer is going about up and down, I'm sure that this case is a win-win. I want Mike-Bamiloye's son to be defeated so that he sees the true picture of what is actually happening. And now going to the picture of Flora. When Flora came into the scene that his 1 million Naira has finally been sent to her account. So I was thinking, now that she has received the money, she'll just disappear. She's rather thinking of going to chill. You've had a dream that you are blessed enough to have things that like see before things happen. You've had a dream that someone is planning to kill you. Once you receive your money, just disappear. You don't need to testify in court. Just disappear. I don't know how come Flora is just making things complicated for herself, for her sister, for her mom, and for her dad. And the scene that happened at the when Mike-Bamiloye's son, Flora's lawyer, came to the house, I was expecting Bamiloye to understand that the person I'm going to defend is not being honest. The story that she's telling me does not tally. The story that she's telling me does not correspond. So I should be smart enough to back out of this. But instead, he calls the person who paid him so much money, and the person disrespected him on the phone. He called the person who paid him, he called Bade, who paid him so much money, and he was disrespected on the phone. I've given you a lot of money, enough money to prove a point to the lawyers, not me. Like, he was talking to him anyhow. I was expecting Baba Gbero, if your father spoke to you and you didn't listen, at least after doing your own research and your investigation, you should be able to do some calculations there, do some addition and subtraction. No, I think Flora is telling lies here. I think Flora's story doesn't add up. Okay, because the story doesn't add up, let me just give up what they've given to me. Or let me just go and lose the case so that I have my peace of mind, because when you do something like this, there's a risk you are taking for yourself, and you have no idea the consequences that will come. That will come with it. When the other part that Flora's sister found out about her sister being raped and all that in front of Benro, I was expecting him to be smart about it. Like, he's really waiting to be spoon-fed. He's really, really waiting. Your dad has opened your eyes. You still decide to close it again. Now you've gone to interact with the victim, the so-claimed victim. You have doubts. Her sister come in. She doesn't have any idea of what's going on. You still go ahead to go to court and then defend her. Like, I was like, who does that? Who does that? Who does that? I am happy that the teacher, the one who enrolled Flora into the institution, eventually gave his life to Christ. It's humiliation when you do that at the start, but later you feel like I'd prefer. It is better. I'll not say I'd prefer. It's better to humiliate your physical being than to humiliate yourself emotionally, spiritually, and psychologically. I think that's more painful. It's less painful making it physical. If I'm humiliated, if my reputation is tarnished or my image is tarnished, it's less painful than going through a lot of trauma because I've done something and I won't forgive myself for it. Like, I like the fact that Mr. Wale, the teacher, the person who enrolled Flora, I like the fact that he eventually accepted Christ, confessed his sins at the court, and then whatever will be done should be done to him. He's tired. I like what he did. That's a very bold step that not everyone can take. It's a very, very courageous step that we should learn to face our fears. We should learn to accept our mistakes. We should learn to face whatever consequences that we caused. That is what Mr. Wale did, and I really applaud him for that. So now going to the court side where the story became interesting. Initially, when Baba Gbero was leaving the house, Mama Gbero, she looked disturbed. Initially, I was like, oh, why is this woman disturbing her husband like that? You won't support her, and if he's doing it, you are trying to draw him back and all that. Like, why are you doing that? I was really, really upset with Mama Gbero, not knowing she had seen something no one was seeing, not knowing she was seeing the future, not knowing she saw there was a tragedy coming their way, and she tried to warn her husband. And I think she made a point here because her husband has closed all his eyes, all his ears. He's focused on Mr. Martins, so focused on him. Like, his focus is 100% on Mr. Martins, and didn't bother to listen to his wife's advice. I would understand him not listening because his wife, women can create lots of drama sometimes, locking the door. So if she's starting another scene, the best thing to do is to avoid it. So that's what Baba Gbero wanted to do. Not knowing, Mama Gbero was warning him against what she had seen. The interesting part was when they went to the courtroom, and during the interrogations, they interrogated Mr. Wale. He said his part of the story, mentioned the truth and all that. Now they called in Flora. Her stories didn't add up. She doesn't remember the school she went to, like all those controversies. But they still considered it. They even called another witness that Martin's lawyer did the research on. He also came to tell his part of the story that I know Flora, she's a prostitute and all that. But so you need to convince, and whose story is more convincing is who wins the case. The part that pained me most, and I'm sure it pained most of the viewers, how how Gbero interrogated his father, how Gbero spoke to his father heartlessly. It was so heartless. Someone who has nurtured you from scratch, you've become a lawyer. Is this how you interrogate him? Even if you are doing your job, add some respect to it. Even if you are doing your job, consider the fact that he's your dad. Even if you are doing your job, be smart about it, because you've done your own research and you've realized that the person you are going to defend story doesn't add up. So if your dad is in the witness box and you are interrogating him, at least add some respect to it. As for Baba Gbero's son, I don't know, but he should really see what he has done. He should really live to see the consequences of what he has caused. He really needs to live to see. One, I don't know what has happened to Baba Gbero, but I only pray he's been hospitalized and maybe he has a heart. My voice is even shaking. I just pray he's hospitalized and he'll be fine. But he'll be fine. So for Baba Gbero's son, I just leave him. What he did was disappointing, but it's a movie. We are supposed to learn our lessons from it. You're also supposed to cry sometimes when need be, you should shed some tears. Yeah. So I wanted to add this on Mr. Martins. Mr. Martins needs to work on his temper. I don't know if you also noticed that he needs to work on his temper. He has a very high temper. He needs to control. He needs to work to control his temper, both at when he was at the court, at the law court, and at the court and at the prison. He doesn't know how to control his temper, and it's something that he needs to work on. Sometimes you may be right, but your reactions to some issues will make you wrong. So Mr. Martins needs to work on his temper. If you agree with me, please let me know in the comments below. Do you think Mr. Martins needs to work on his temper? Because he gets angry, he gets furious at any time. I remember when he was teaching, he was getting angry with the students anytime. He needs to control his temper. And now that the temper is mixed with anger, emotions, agony, pain, is becoming worse. Like, it's really growing inside him. So I think Mr. Martins should work on his temper. While he's in prison, he should work on his temper. My expectations for the next episode, I just pray Baba Gbero is fine. I only pray he's fine. I just pray he's fine. If I'll go the farthest, maybe he will lose his life. But if he loses his life, what's the point? If he loses his life, his son is only going to regret it, and that's not enough. He needs to live. He needs to prove Mr. Martin's father that he's wrong. He needs to live to see the downfall of Mr. Martin's father. So please, you don't have to die. You have to live and see the downfall of your enemy. You have to live to see the success of Mr. Martins. He needs to live. I know Mama Gbero is not just sitting there and relaxing. She's also praying for her husband. She's also praying for her family. She's also praying for her like the growth of the family. She's also praying for her son. So Baba Gbero, you will survive it. I believe he will live. If he doesn't, there's nothing I can do though, but I pray he lives. I really pray Baba Gbero lives. Now on the side that Flora is to be killed after the court trial, let's see if she can be killed in the next episode. I doubt, because she has already seen it in her dream. So if they want to use another tactic, they better use it. They shouldn't send 3 men to kill her, because it's old news to her now. She had already seen that in her dreams. So they shouldn't send 3 men to come and kill Flora. She has already seen them. And even her sister is backing her with prayers. Her mom is also backing her with prayers. Her dad is also doing same. So if they want to do something against Flora, it shouldn't be like physical killing. They should use other means. Yeah. So how did you enjoy the episode? For me, I almost cried at the latter part. Like, my eyes became teary at the latter part. It was so sad when Baba Gbero was holding his chest and he just couldn't stand it. And it's painful when your own son does this to you. It's very painful. So I enjoyed this episode, and I know that the next episode is going to be as fire as this one. I'll end here for today. Let me know what you think about Abattoir season 2 episode 3. Let me know how you like my review, and let me know your expectations for the upcoming episode 4. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to share, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm Lydia once again. Till next time, bye. I need to chip in this. Like, I ended this episode in so much like agony. I didn't finish watching it. Okay, so the up next one that they've been adding, I forgot to watch that one. And then now Flora, she has been used and dumped. As said, she's been used and dumped.